welcome to this Excel Basics video tutorial. In this video, we're going to talk about everything that you need to know to start working with Excel. The Excel version that I'm using right now is Excel 2019. If you have other versions of Excel, don't worry about that. I just wanted to clarify this before we get started. So when you open Excel for the first time, this is what you see. So here we have the Home tab, we have the New tab, and we have the Open. So the Home, this is where you see the templates. These are the templates, and you have these two tabs here, or two panels that you can work with. You have the recent. Under the recent, this is where you see the recent worked on documents. If you haven't worked on any documents in Excel, you are not going to have anything under this. Under the pinned, this is where you see the pinned documents. This is where you can pin documents for easy access. Then under the New tab here, the New tab allows you to create a new workbook from scratch, or you can just choose the templates from here. Now, before we talk about the templates, I just want to show you these tabs here. Then Open, this is where you can open existing Excel documents from. So if you want to open an existing Excel document, you can just come here under the Open, then you can choose where your document is. Maybe it's on the PC, or maybe you just want to browse for a specific directory. Here it's going to open this computer browser. We don't want to do this. We want to learn Excel from scratch, so we're going to be on the Home tab. Here on the Home tab, let's talk about these templates. A template is a file or document that you can use without starting from scratch. It has the foundation laid for you already, so you don't need to stress and worry about you creating or designing the document from scratch. It's a file or a document that other people put in place so that you don't have to start from scratch. For example, if you are creating a sales report, you just select this template here and it's going to open this. Then here what you can do is just replace these values with your own values and it becomes yours. That's what a template is. So you have a lot of templates there. So what you just need to do here is come back here and templates here and choose the template of your choice and change the values and put your own values and it becomes yours. That's what a template is. Now, in case we want to learn Excel from scratch, so we want to select the workbook, the blank workbook here. The first option, just click on that, then it's going to open this workbook. This is the window that you're going to see. So on this window, there's some things that you need to do. This workbook has to be given a name and it also has to be saved in a folder. We have this tab or the menu code file here on top. When you click on this tab, it's going to take you to the backstage view. It's similar to the home page, but it's not the same, because here on the backstage view we have all these commands and options that we have here. We can choose to save our document. We can choose to save our document with a name. That's what the save does, and that's what the save as does. So the difference between these two is that the save allows you to just save the contents that you put in your document, but the save as, it gives you the ability to save your document with a name, and that's what we want. So I'm assuming that you know how to create folders. Here you can just click on the save as to give it a name. Then you're on this PC, on the desktop. Here I have a folder called George. I'm going to open this one, and in here I'm going to open the Excel folder. Here I have the Excel folder. I just opened this one, and in here this is where I'm going to put this. But here we have the file name. We have to change this file name to what we want to work with. So here we're just going to say work 1. It should be type Excel workbook because it's a workbook. Then just click on save. Then our Excel workbook has been saved, and here on the title bar, the name of this document has changed to work 1, and that's what we want. The name of the software is Excel. The document where we are, or the workbook, is work 1. Now, here before we talk about other things, the top part here, this entire top part is called the title bar. And the reason why is because we have the title, but also we have the quick access menu here, or the quick toolbar if you want to call it that. You can call it quick toolbar. Then we have these 3 buttons here: the close, the minimize, or restore down. And this is the minimize, and the restore down button is this one. Here you can choose to restore the window down and to maximize it if that's what you want. We have these tabs on top. These tabs are sometimes called menus, but they're just part of a big thing that we call a ribbon. So the ribbon consists of 3 things. We have the tabs, which are sometimes called menus. Then we have the groups. These are groups. Then we have the commands. The commands are the options that we have on the groups. Now, each and every tab here, it has its own groups. When you click on the insert, you have the groups. When you click on the page layout, you have the groups. When you click on formulas, on the data, on review, view, and the help, all these tabs here have groups. What you should know is that each and every tab is different to the other. You're not going to find one group in two places. So for example, here on the home tab, we have the font group. You can't find it here under the insert or any of these other tabs. This font is only found here. So when knowing and learning this software, you should put that in mind. Don't expect these groups to be found under these other tabs. They are different. So a ribbon consists of three things. We have the tabs on top, then we have the groups here, and on the groups we have different commands. So let's say on the page layout we have the theme group, we have the page layout group, we have the scale to fit, sheet options, and arrange. And here we have different commands. So on the page setup group we have the margins, orientation, size, print, and all these other commands. Commands can also be called options. So under this group we have these options. Then in some cases you're going to find out that on the group you have the launch icon. This, when you click on it, it's going to open this dialog box. On this dialog box you're going to find even more features, the features that are sometimes can't fit or are not here on this. So the reason why it's here, it's just to show you that on this group we can also have other features. There are also other features that can't fit here, so they decided to put these under this launch dialog box. When you click on this launch bar, it's going to open this dialog box, and this is where you can find all these other features that can't fit or cannot be found here. You're going to see this launch icon almost everywhere. Here you have it on the clipboard, you also have it here, you have it there, you have it there. It's everywhere, so don't be confused. It's just a launch icon. You click on it, it's going to launch this dialog box. On this dialog box, this is where you can see all these different features that are not here. So in cases where you're looking for something that's not here, you can always click on the launch bar and you find the thing that you're looking for here. So when you're done doing whatever you are doing here, you can always click on OK to just close it. Otherwise, that's it about the ribbon. If you have any questions about a ribbon, if you are not clear about something, please drop the questions in the comments. I'll respond to you. Now let's continue. A workbook is like a book. In a book you can have multiple pages. So just like that, in this workbook we can have multiple spreadsheets. This is the spreadsheet 1. You can just click on the plus to add other spreadsheets. You can call it a spreadsheet or a worksheet or a sheet. It's up to you. And these can be renamed. You can come right click on it and you see this rename option and you can give it the name. Then here you can also right click on this one and say maybe school, and just like that you can also right click on this one and rename this one to something else and say maybe business. Just like that. This is how you can rename these work sheets or spreadsheets. Spreadsheet consists of columns and rows. So for example, in this spreadsheet we have column A, B, C, D, and A, just like that. And we can also have row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are rows. You can also color these sheets. Come here and choose the color that you want to use. Right click on the tab or sheet that you want to color and choose the color from there. Right click, tab color, and you choose the color that you want to use. These sheets can be colored. That's another thing you should know about these sheets or spreadsheets. So in the case that these columns here are not enough, you can always scroll to the right and you have this enough space here. You cannot say that this space is not enough. These columns here are endless. You can just keep on scrolling here and you will never reach the end if you're like me. It has a limit, but it's not something that you can easily reach. In Excel we have different types of views. This view where we are in right now, it's called the normal view. But we also have the page layout view. On the page layout view, this is where you have Excel dividing the spreadsheet into pages. So when we scroll down here, we're able to see all these pages that are pages inside one worksheet. This is so big and huge such that you can't just use all these pages at once. Then we also have another type of view called the page break preview. Page break view, it already shows you the area where you have items. Right now we don't have anything in this workbook, this is why you can't see anything. So let's go back to the normal view. This is the normal view. So these are the three types of views here, but in some cases maybe the cells here are too small. You can use the slider to zoom in and zoom out. Zoom in and zoom out. Let's zoom in a little bit so that everything is clear. So now a spreadsheet consists of columns and rows. This is a column, so each and every column has a name. Column A, B, C, D, just like that. These are columns in Excel, and these are rows. Each and every row has a number, just like this. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, and these numbers are a lot, endless. You can just keep on scrolling down here, it doesn't end. Now in this spreadsheet we have also cells. Each and every cell in Excel has a name. So for example, this is B2, and Excel makes it easier for you to know that. They have the name box here. The name box, this is where you see the name for the current active cell. How do you know that the cell is currently active? The current active cell is going to have the green outline. This is a range. A range is a group of 2 or more cells selected together. A spreadsheet consists of columns, rows, cells, and ranges. All these cells get after the column and the row. So start with the column and the row. That's how you name the cell. E6, and you have E6 in the name box. Then another part of the spreadsheet that we should not forget is this formula bar. The formula bar, this is where you're going to see the contents of the currently active or selected cell. So for example, here we have nothing. This is where we don't see anything here. But if we had T or anything in here, we're going to see the TYY in this cell. But when we select something else, we have nothing. The formula bar contains or shows you the formula or the items of the currently selected cell. Mostly you're going to be working with formulas, so you're going to see the formulas in the formula bar. The formula bar can also be used for data entry. So for example, in D5 you want to enter something. Let's say you just want to mention this is D5 or D4. Yes, like this. D5. This is D5. So you can also use the formula bar to enter data in cells. In Excel, when you select a cell here, you want to enter any data, you can just easily start typing. This is the heading, for example. This is the heading. This is how you enter data. Just select the cell and you start typing whatever you want to put there. For example, in here we want to make cell A1 as the heading cell. But when you look at this, it looks like it's also joining these two cells. This is just an illusion, it's not real. When we select B1, we have nothing here. When we select C1, we have nothing. When you try to put anything in here, it's also independent. It's different to this. So let's say this is new. But again, this looks like it's joining this. In here, we can also have this. This is, for example. So here we have 3 cells with different items. Now, if you want to see everything contained in a cell, you can easily adjust this cell. These cells columns can be adjusted. The width for the column can be adjusted by easily you bring the mouse between these 2 columns and you can click and hold and drag to the right. And this is how you can expand this row or column. Just like that, and you're able to see everything contained in cell A1. So this is also what you can do here for cell B and the B1, and the cell C1 is okay. So this is how you can expand the cells to make sure that everything in the cell is visible. But the shortcut and the quicker way to do this is you just bring the cursor between these 2 and double click between this, then it's automatically going to expand the cell to fit the contents easily, just like that. And also here, double click, and just like that, it's fitting everything in the cell and everything is visible. That's what we want. If that's what you want, that's what you do. Now, with this information that we have right now, let's work with something realistic. Let's create a weekly income schedule. weekly income schedule, weekly. This is going to be the heading for this our document, weekly income schedule, something like this. Then in here we're going to have this data. We're going to have the date, expenditure, the refund, the total expenditure, the income, and the profit. So just like we said, we can expand this so that you can see this clearly by double clicking between these two, so that everything is clear just like that. Just paste this data here like that. Let's say this is the information that we want to have here. So what I want you to learn here is how you can add the borders around the cells, and also how you can do certain calculations. And also when you look at this heading on top here, it looks like it's joining here, but we want it to take the entire top part here. So what we can do is we can highlight cell A1 and drag to click and hold and drag to the right up to F1. When these cells are highlighted in this range like so, here you come on the home menu, you have this group called alignment. On the alignment group you have this option here, the merge and center option. You click on that, and this is how you can merge the cells together and center the contents of the cells. So just like that, we merged these and centered it. We can also do different things. We can change the color for the background here by using this color bucket too, and say maybe we want our to be something like that or something else. Maybe, yeah, this looks okay, but we can also increase the size for the contents by just clicking on this A, and just like that, it's now the heading. We can also change the color for this text and choose the color of our choice. If we want the blue or whatever color that we want, it's up to you. Then let's also make these item here, select the range and make these bold so that these look like that. This is what we want. Then here we're going to put, this is just find the way it is. Then we want to highlight the entire range. We want to put the borders around these cells. So what we can do is come on the font group here on the home menu or the home tab. You click on this arrow icon, the drop down arrow icon. You click on that, then you have this all borders option. You click on that. This is how you add borders around the selected range of cells. So let's say this is our weekly income schedule, and we've designed it so that it looks like this. Now when you look at this, we have the total expenditure here that needs to be calculated, and the profit expenditure. How do we calculate the total expenditure? The faster way to calculate the total expenditure, in this case, we know that we have to calculate this and this. In Excel, you can do maths. In this case, we want to add this and this one. So what we do is we just start with an equal sign in the total expenditure cell. Then we select this cell. Then we add, select another cell. Then we press enter. It's going to give us the value for this, the answer. So when you select this cell, in the formula bar, we're going to see the formula that was used to get this value here, not the value itself. And the good thing, and the reason why this is one of the best ways to go about this, is because these values can change. Let's say when we say 60, maybe that number here, it's automatically going to calculate for us. We don't need to come here and change the values because we are using the cell names. So Excel is keeping track, or it has the event listeners. Any changes that happen here, they're also going to be executed in the total expenditure cell here. That's the good thing about Excel. Now, that's not the only thing. Because we used the cell names here, not the values of these in the formula, we can just easily use the fill handle. This is the fill handle here. The fill handle and the filler. We click on this box and drag down. Click, hold, and drag down. It's going to do the maths for us. And this is how we can easily calculate the total expenditure. You can also do the same for the profit. The profit, we know that this is the income, which means the amount of money the seller got after selling everything. So expenditure was this one. The total expenditure was this one. If you sell, you manage to get this one. What's the profit? The profit is going to be equal to this minus, so the minus symbol is there, minus the total expenditure. You press enter. This is the profit. Then you just use the fill handle and drag down, and this is how you can do maths. So this is how you can do calculations, and this is how you can design this This is how you can come up with the tables like this in Excel. If you have any questions about anything, please ask in the comments. Thank you for watching.